What's up, guys? DK here with Collectors Impact, and today we're going to have a nice discussion regarding 5 key benefits and reasons for investing in collectible cards and collectibles in general. But I will most likely be sticking with cards here for this video, as that is kind of my bread and butter. I have a lot of experience in this field. You can see here in the background, this is a shop that I used to manage for 10 years. Very near and dear to my heart. But, you know, even regardless of that, just also take note, this is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. So keep that in mind as well. But anyway, let's continue. All right, so I also plan to make a part 2 to this video, which is going to feature 5 negative side effects of investing in cards and collectibles as well. So if you're interested in seeing that particular discussion and follow-up, definitely subscribe to the channel, as it will be coming out soon. And if it's already out by the time you see this, check the description in this video. It should be in the description, the link to that part, if you're interested in that. But continuing on with the 5 benefits. All right, so for benefit number 1, and this is number 1 for a reason. It's huge. I have a lot to say about it. So anybody can invest in cards and collectibles. That's a huge one for me. There's a lot of videos on YouTube and other places and content and blogs and everything regarding investing in these sorts of items. And it's kind of a common thing out there to see, like, you should only invest in this if you're financially secure, if you have your ducks in a row, if you know, there's all these stipulations that a lot of people like to put out there. And that's fine for certain things, which we will discuss, of course. But as a general rule, anybody can invest in cards and collectibles. That's really the biggest draw, the biggest appeal to it. I started getting into the collectibles sphere when I was a kid. I was like 10 years old when I started buying and collecting cards specifically. So with that said, I was a kid that did not come from a family of a lot of means. I was I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't even have an allowance kind of a thing. If I wanted some money, I had to do chores or work for the neighbors or something like that, just to get enough money in my hand to buy, like, say, 1 booster pack of, at that time, it was Star Wars cards, then Magic cards, and then eventually, when it came out, Pokemon cards. So that gives you some context about when I developed my passion for collecting and how it kind of evolved with me throughout the years, and then I went on to actually manage a shop and do all that kind of stuff. And then after that, I went in other directions and did a bunch of other things and all of that. But in regards to just sticking with collectibles, it started for me really early, and I'm sure that that's not unique to me. I'm pretty sure that is it's kind of a situation with a lot of people. So you could look at it kind of cynically, like my parents did, and say, that's how they get you. That's how they get you early. They lure you in with this stuff, with the flashy marketing and fun graphics and blah, 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 and they make you waste your money. If I had $1 for every time that I heard that from my parents or even peers and stuff in school growing up, Jesus, I would already have more money than I had from the collectibles. You know what I mean? But yeah, all kidding aside, I mean, what starts out as a nice little hobby, at least for some, can evolve into quite a nice collection and investment in their future, and without even knowing it, really. So yeah, getting back to point number 1, anyone can invest in cards and collectibles. So it's never too early, and it's never too late to start working on your collection of items. And with that, I'll go ahead and segue into part 2, because this is very relevant to the general conversation at hand, especially number 1, which is that there are tiers in these collectibles for any collector, for any type of collector. And what I mean by that is, if you're a person with very little means, you still have an entry. That's the coolest thing. You can start out with something like just raw cards and things that interest you. You just want to have hobby level stuff. Say a card, like, let's just take this for example. This classifies as both a hobby enthusiast and an investment type of card. This here is an Arid Mesa. It's a fetch land from Modern Horizons 2, this particular one, but the original one is from Zendikar. But anyway, without getting into too much more detail about that stuff, this card fluctuates from around $20 to $50 depending on the market conditions and everything like that. And since it's a heavily used card in the game, you can find raw copies of it pretty readily in the market. So for $20, you can have yourself a nice fetch land for Magic. And this card is one of those types of cards that you would consider it kind of a blue chip. If you're thinking of like investments in terms of stocks, it's more of a blue chip type of item. And over time, you could slowly collect and build up a collection of fetch lands. There are 10 of these. Well, there might even be more, but I know there's 10 to match the dual land types. 10 different ones, and you could get them all and get 4 of each of them and just build up your collection over time. And before you know it, you have a really nice collection of raw, just keep them in your closet, out of the light and moisture kind of cards, and they will be worth money so long as the game exists, you know what I mean? Which it's the very first card game to ever be around. Hopefully it won't be going anywhere anytime soon. It's kind of been standing the test of time, at least as far as our lifetimes are concerned, in terms of, I mean, it's been around for, 30 years and going strong, very strong. So if you like Marvel cards, you can just get some loose packs or some loose cards, buy some collections. You probably have to get kind of specific on what you're looking for, but the thing is, it doesn't cost a lot of money, like a ton of money, to get into it. You can also go for more mid-tier style of cards, and that would include things such as lower graded versions of rare cards. So this here is an example, is Zapdos First Edition from base set. This is being filmed in the year 2021, so who knows, what it's going to bring in the very distant future. But for now, these cards fluctuate between a couple $100 and well, yeah, it's really a couple $100. It can be worth like $100 to $400 on any given moment, depending on market conditions and grade and all that kind of stuff. I anticipate these particular types of cards to go up in value a lot more over the next decade or more, assuming that Pokemon retains its strong brand footprint and everything in the market. That's pretty key, and we'll get into that at some point. But yeah, this card right here, 9.5 graded Batman from the DC Masters series. You can get these for, I don't know, $100, $200, something like that. Maybe even less if you get lucky. But yeah, these are the types of mid-tier collectibles. And there's an unlimited amount of cards and collectibles you can go for. So these are just examples. So use your imagination in terms of the types of cards that you like, what you're into, or what you're thinking about getting into, and really go from there. You can also go with something like raw versions of rare cards. This here is a Mirror Universe. It's on the reserve list from Legends, so it can never be reprinted again. But this particular version of it has been played with. It's been used in the game quite a bit. So it's not mint, so therefore you can get them for a couple $100 versus like $1,000 if it's in mint condition, especially graded. So you can take what is a high-tier item and get a mid-tier version of it, depending on how picky you are with condition. Then there's what I would consider the mid to upper tier, which is something like this. We're getting into like the PSA 8 level of a reserve list card. This one's a Mox Diamond. These are several $100s and probably will go up significantly in the future. And then, of course, you have top tier stuff, which I personally, since I'm still not made of money kind of thing, I'm no Richie Rich, I have a PSA 2 First Edition Charizard, which is worth quite a bit of money. I can't put an exact price on it, but I know that it is significant. We'll just say that. But I can say that if it was a PSA 10 of this same card, that would be worth a lot. Over 100,000, probably well over that, actually. So, yeah, I mean, and that's US dollars. So we're talking some big, big money for stuff like that. I really wish this was a 10, obviously. It's drastically nowhere near that because it's a 2. But it's still nothing to shake a stick at. And then you could also expand into things like sealed product. There's a huge following for things like sealed product, as this type of tier, when it comes to the collectibles, it's an entity all its own, in the sense of a lot of people, especially in the past, I was extremely guilty of this, guys, think of sealed product in terms of the cards that are inside the box. That was a huge misconception that my younger self had no understanding of, and really no mentor in this space to really teach me the true value of a sealed product item. So, yeah, and now what I mean by that is the cards inside of the Throne of Eldraine set, they're not on the reserve list. There are some rare, highly desired, usable cards in this particular box. This is a collector box, but there's a key rule with sealed. You can always convert sealed into singles. You cannot convert singles into sealed unless you're doing something shady. Therefore, the sealed product is a collectible in and of itself, just to have the original packaging, the original wrapper, and the cards in their original form. It adds a certain layer of collectability and value to the product that may not be obviously there, in the sense of you can't just judge it based on the value of the cards. And so as time ticks by, as time goes on, say 10 years into the future, the majority of the boxes of this that were produced, the collector's versions of Throne of Eldraine, there's a very good chance, at least based on historical data from other similar situations 10 years ago and further, that there will not be a lot of sealed ones of these left. Because say I get a wild hair kind of thing and I want to sell this 3 years from now because it's gone up 100% or whatever. So I sell it. The person that I sell this to for, say, $500 or whatever it is, they might open it. And if they open it and get the cards out and draft with them, do whatever they do with them, if they open it, there's one less of these products on the market, and therefore the supply of the sealed product continues to dwindle and the price will continue to go up, regardless of the actual value of the cards inside. That's the concept when it comes to sealed. And here is a booster pack of Pokemon, for example, and that I will segue into point 3. Point 3. ROI levels can be shockingly good versus your traditional investments. So traditional, guys. I'm not talking about no crypto. We all know how that can go. I'm talking about traditional stocks, bonds, even real estate and coins and things like that. Traditional investment classes, the return on investment for certain collectible items can truly be shocking, most likely and usually over long periods of time, but nonetheless, it's still awesome. So for that, I will use this as an example. There are tons of other examples out there in the world. There's no doubt of that, but this is a pack of Jungle from the Japanese release. So this is from the year 1997. And this pack cost me $4 when I bought it. I bought this pack, oh my God, when did I buy it? In the year 1999, I think, 1999 or 2000. I was kind of an odd kid because I had a sealed pack collection. And man, am I glad that I kept that, you know what I mean? I had just 1 or 2 packs from each kind of set that I was into. Usually that I won in tournaments or just bought and set aside. So just doing something like that, once again, goes back to point 1. As a kid, you set aside some sealed product, and then many years later, fast forward to 2021, this pack, I had it graded. It came back a PSA 10, and it is worth hundreds of dollars now. So there's that. A $4 investment turned into hundreds of dollars worth of collectible investment items here. It's only one item, but you know what I'm saying. You guys know what the heck I'm saying. One pack for $4 turned into several hundred, and that is awesome. Just as another example, we'll use the first edition Charizard. This card, I actually used to own 3 of these. So we'll just pretend that this is the first one that I ever got, which it's not, but let's just pretend. Let's go into make-believe land. Okay, I got this from a pack in 1999, you guys. For $4 for the pack, you know. So let's just say somebody out there bought a $4 pack, they got this card. But what was $4 is now many, many, many hundreds of dollars. So that's the kind of ROI that I'm talking about in terms of a percentage. When that's thousands of percent return on investment kind of a thing with that type of card. Moving on to point number 4 is that these are a physical store of value, which is really cool. In a world that is turning mostly digital, where freaking everything is digital, your whole life is a digital footprint at this point for most of us with smartphones and whatever, and social media and everything else. Everything is digital. There's not a lot of tangibility left in the world to enjoy. I think that's one of the reasons, one of the big draws that people have to collectible items, especially cards. First off, they're easy to store, so that's good because they're small. They're small, they're flat. Even in a graded card case, it really isn't that big. You can get a decent amount of these and just tuck them away in a drawer. You'll be fine. But overall, it's something that you can hold in your hand that holds actual value, which is comforting to a lot of people out there. There's always the more traditional investments of, say, gold and silver coins or rare coins and currency and things like that, which honestly, rare coins and currency, that classifies as a collectible item. It's just another offshoot of collectibles, just like cards and action figures and anything else. Now, where that can differ is with gold and silver bullion coins, because that's about the spot price and the actual metal value in the stuff. So that's a commodity investment. Anyway, you know what the heck I'm saying. Cards, rare collectible cards are a store of value in physical form, which is definitely lacking across the board today. And this fills that void in many people's hearts and portfolios. And the 5th and final point, and for most people, this is the most important point, or at least it is for me. I don't know about you guys, but it's fun. Collecting cards and other assets of this type, it's a lot of fun. You get to learn a lot about the different cards that you're dealing in. You get to search the whole world at this point, thanks to the internet. You get to search around in different countries, different areas and regions and stuff, trying to track down that exact rare card, whatever it is. Back in the day, you used to have to rely on going to your local card shop or going to conventions or going to flea markets and hoping for some good luck. But today, with eBay and other marketplaces online, man, you can find something from Bangladesh and get it sent to your door, kind of a thing. The world is your oyster when it comes to collectibles and rare items. And it makes it a lot of fun if there's specific things that you're craving. And also, the best part about these types of cards, like Magic and Pokemon, is that it's part of a game. So if you do have rare cards that are loose, like this fetch land and stuff, you can learn how to play the game, and trust me, guys, Magic is a really fun game. It may be nerdy, but it is really fun. It's a really well-designed game, and it gets a bad rep in the public eye, I personally think, especially if you watch like South Park or The Simpsons or anything that's made fun of it in the past. My God, does it have a stigma, but the shit is fun. And then, of course, if you like comic books or superheroes in general, even if you just like the films, who cares? You can enjoy collecting Batman's card from 1994 from the Masters series because it looks freaking awesome. And it's just a cool thing to have. It's a good conversation piece. And it's just fun. It's just straight up fun. And then for sealed product and stuff like that, if you do have a passion for the item, it's fun to have that as well. I mean, you can't technically use it because it's sealed, but it's one of these sort of things where in your mind, there's always that kind of a fear or negativity that it could lose a lot of value. And the only way, obviously now, again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment. So you can't hold me to this, that's for sure. But the only way that I've seen, at least in the historical record on stuff like this, that it goes down in value over the long term is if the game dies. Yeah, that'll be a good transition into our downside of investing in collectibles and cards and collectibles, which is to come after this. So if you are interested in seeing that video, again, subscribe or check in the description here. If it's already out, the link will be there. But yeah, one of the other benefits to this is that if it does die, you still have the product and you can open it and have fun with it if you're passionate about the item. So that's a win when it comes to your heartstrings and it being fun. Anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. There is so much that I could really say on this subject. I would be glad to make some follow-up videos. I likely will make some follow-up videos, but if anyone has any specific questions regarding these topics, this topic, definitely feel free to drop it in the comments section or just share any memories or any anything that you want to about this, because that's what it's all about. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for coming by and checking out this video. I really appreciate that, and I hope to see you back for the next one and for more videos like this in the future as well, guys. So thanks again, and take care.